Hey YouTube family, what's up? How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to the channel where we talk about wealth, life, and travel and everything in between. So you click on this video because you want to know how much it costs to buy a home. Now, like HGTV and all these other shows, they don't show the true cost of what it is to buy a home. So depending on the price of your home, the brokerage, the commission that you're going to be paying out, the inspection, and taxes eat a lot of this up. So
where's all your money gone, Donnie?
Taxes. 6, 9, 10, 11. Let me fix my houses.
But it's okay. It's part of the game.
No, it's not.
It is.
Fun.
and I'll be talking about this soon. Okay, so stay tuned. But before we get started, I'd like for you to subscribe, like, comment. It helps me out with the algorithm. Just click that button down there, please. You do it? Thank you. I appreciate it. Now, before we get started, we're gonna talk about my friend who bought a investment property, and he paid this in cash. So we'll just go into the closing costs. Okay, so most of the time when you go to buy a house, the seller will cover the closing costs. So meaning the commission that's paid out is covered by them, and certain other things are covered by them, but then you have to pay the closing costs on your side, which is brokerage fees, taxes, inspection, all this other nitty gritty stuff that you need to do. So we put an offer on this home, which was around $110,000, but this home needed some TLC, so we were able to negotiate it down, and when all was said and done, it was around $98,000 that we brought it down. So we brought it down around $12,000. We tried to get a little bit down more, but just the owner wouldn't budge, and he was really interested in this property, so we went ahead with the offer. So for aesthetics purposes, I'm going to be rounding the numbers just to make it look nice. So for my client, who's a buyer, paid $4,200, and that's at closing. And get this, the seller paid $8,750 at closing.
Jesus Christ.
It's crazy, right? But most of the time the seller pays this the commission, so the buyer doesn't end up paying unless there's another agreement between you and that brokerage to pay a minimum amount. Minimum amount. Usually it's between 5 to 6%, and some brokers do have a minimum that they need to get paid because you use your resources, time, and negotiation, and you're basically like your labor. And sometimes the experience costs more, but you get a better result and less headaches. Now let's get back to it. So Uncle Sam is always gonna want a piece of the pie, and you need to pay county taxes, state taxes, and sometimes even federal taxes depending on where you are. Recordation taxes, which goes into the county taxes, HOA fees, which are prorated between the seller and the time that the buyer takes over the property. This came out to $100 per year, around there, if I remember correctly, and I looked at my sheets. But the HOA fee, which was around $700 for both for the month, so the HOA fee is kind of high, but at the end he's paying cash, so he's getting a good profit on his money. And then the seller paid $5,000 commissions for the real estate. So for both real estate agents, and that $5,000 split between the brokerage and the real estate agent. Now, depending on the brokerage you use, you might have to pay around $400. That's what the buyer paid the brokerage, and the price was similar for the seller. So you can expect to pay a flat fee. Some other brokers do it differently, but if they do it differently, you might as well go to another brokerage or another agent, because most of them are flat fees that you pay. Now, for the title company, I'll list all the expenses that the buyer had first. So the first one will be the abstract, which was around $200. So this is the title search and all this stuff that they do. The next one would be the title examination, which is $745, and that's expensive. And then it's the title insurance, which was $600, and this is just in case any liens that they missed, or anything wrong with the property, like say that a lien is being filed during the process of buying the home, and when they go check this, they don't find anything, and they put a lien on the house, and they're telling you have to pay it. Well, this title insurance will cover you for that. Okay, next is the recordation fee, which goes for taxes. So it's $75, and after this there's a judgment report, which is $100, and then there's a closing protection letter, which is around $45. Now, I'm gonna get into the seller. The seller has a pay wire payoff, which is around $20. Then there's a procurement payoff, which is another $20. Actually, I'm sorry, that's $200. And after this, there's a $30 release tracking fee. Okay, now I'm going to show you all the recording charges for the government, the taxes, and all this. So the split between both the seller and the buyer, except for the recordation tax, is county taxes are around $300 for both seller and buyer. So that's $600 they both pay. State tax is around $250, and county transfer tax is $700. Then this comes out to the HOA fees. Now, for the HOA fees, it's $700 for the seller, and for the buyer would be around $700, again, because you're paying for the next month as well. Now, the HOA statement is $200, and for the buyer, there's a HOA and a account setup, which is like making your account for the HOA where you're going to be moving, which is $150. And yeah, so then they're paying the $700 that month, and then the $700 for the next month. So that's where both the seller and the buyer are getting, I don't want to say screwed, but what can you do? If you want to buy the property, you got to pay the HOA. I know this seems like a lot, but if you were to do this on your own, it would cost so much headaches, like keeping track of all the taxes, the liens, talking to the title company, making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, that they get it down on time. Because if they don't do this on time, your closure on the contract can fall through, and then you don't want those problems. And you got to be careful what title companies you use, because some of them don't even reply to you till like 3-4 days later, and you don't want that. You want to know right there and there, at least a day or two, or even less, just at least 12 hours for them to reply, because this is their living. This is how they make their money. They're supposed to be talking to you and letting you know what's going on. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you enjoyed the breakdown and seeing the closing cost. This all depends on the price of the home you're buying. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay safe, stay blessed.